This next one, I wanted to play James Bond role until it became about race, and this is according to Idris Elba. British actor and DJ Idris Elba has opened up as regards being mentioned to take over the James Bond role, which has always been an honor for him, but talks about his race has turned him off from ever doing it. This was revealed in an interview on the SmartLess podcast, where he said that when he first heard the rumors that he could one day play the James Bond role, it was a huge compliment. Idris Elba said, and I quote, "The truth is, I was super complimented for a long time about this. I was like, this is crazy, James Bond. We are all actors and we understand that role. It's one of those converted roles. Being asked to be James Bond was like, okay, you have sort of reached the pinnacle. That's one of those things the whole world has a vote in," end quote. He continued, and I quote, "Essentially, it was a huge compliment that every corner of the world, except from some corners which we will not talk about, were really happy about the idea that I could be considered. Those that weren't happy about the idea made the whole thing disgusting and off-putting because it became about race. It became about nonsense and I got the bond of it," end quote. If you recall, last year, longtime James Bond pop producer Barbara Broccoli stated that whoever does end up playing Bond will have a big shoes to fill, but fans won't likely see a movie for some time. She said, and I quote, "There isn't a script and we can't come up with one until we decide how we are going to approach the next film, because really, it's a reinvention of Bond. We are reinventing who he is and that takes time. I would say that filming is at least 2 years away," and quotes.
So when I saw this one, I was like, so for the longest, it's been in the news. A lot of people have been saying the next James Bond could be Idris Elba. But now seeing all of this, he was also super excited about it, hearing about it. But when race comes to play and people are saying things that you really do not want to hear about you, then just let some things go. So I feel like that's where he's coming from.
All right, I don't agree. So he said that this is such a coveted role, which is the absolute truth.
Of course.
This is the one role that people actually get to pick to say this is the person that they want to play. And I feel like him doing it despite all odds will actually make sense and pass across a message. Because now, James Bond does kind of look like it is a race thing. So now, if we have our very first black James Bond, I mean, we're in an era where like a lot of black people are coming out. We're having black superheroes now and all of that. So having black James Bond will be absolutely phenomenal. And I feel like he'll be the best person to play it. He said he didn't want to talk about the people in the other corners. But don't now let the people in the other corners be a defining factor for why you don't take up such an iconic role. If you say you don't like the role or you don't want to play it, that's different from saying because some people said,
you don't want it. What if they are the ones in charge?
The people in that other corner, one way or the other, they are the ones that will win. Because if you look at it, the James Bond character from ever since
has not been a white man. It should have been a quintessentially good spy with the swag to carry it. Color. And it hasn't. It shouldn't ever have been about color.
Yes.
We didn't love James Bond because he was Mr. White Bond. We loved him because he was James Bond. It was that dapper suit, that talking to women, that action and all of that.
The one that will steal your babe.
Exactly, which I feel like Idris Elba encompasses. So if they now want to make it a white thing, might as well give it to
White Bond.
Wow. So it was the first person that came to my head.
And what's his name again?
Kim Kardashian's ex.
Pete Davidson.
Yeah, you can give it to. Yes, now since you said. No, since they want.
Is this playing?
When he's not the Joker.
Yeah. Do you know that even Arnold Schwarzenegger can't play James Bond?
Yeah, true.
No, he can't.
So that's what I'm saying. That it's not even about you being white. It's about the charisma. And Idris Elba has that charisma. He's built that over years, and that's something we know him for. So I mean, it would be a no-brainer to have him play it. But then, if Baba say you know one do, no fit force him, but if he's the beg, sha.
I had a couple of names that have been outlined that have been outlined that looks like they'll be the one that will play it. I'm just happy that it's no longer Daniel Craig. I was happy when Quantum of Solace. Which one was the last one? Like, can't they go?
I wasn't feeling Daniel Craig.
Wow. I think my favorite James Bond has to be Pierce Brosnan. We can talk about Sean Connery. We can talk about Sean Connery. Pierce Brosnan has to be my best. Then Daniel Craig just. So is that charisma we're talking about? Yes. So looking at Pierce Brosnan, looking at Sean Connery, and the rest.
They were sexy men.
Yeah, Daniel Craig came with
power.
Yeah, like
it was almost like putting what's this guy's name in Fast and Furious that is always angry.
Vin Diesel.
Why would you go that way?
Fight like
because the others, all they had to do was just give you the look.
Or
And you be
slick
like,
fight. Or slick fight.
And the ordinary look, you don't
But
melt.
some of them still they beg Idris Elba, Sha.
No, it's not good.
Nah,
It's not
you
good.
beg
They
'em.
they already have.
But he has said it.
They already have who they'll pick. Yeah.
That's
They
very
don't
sad,
pass.
Sha. All right, looking forward to seeing King OJ as the new James Bond.
Eh? He has
LOL.
big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
I have big shoes to fill. Okay, yeah. Rest in Jesus'
It's okay,
name.
brainchild. All right, guys, that is all we can take on the entertainment.